All right, so winter's coming, and you know what that means. Snow.
Huh.
But this year, let's ditch those shovels and talk about something that'll make your life a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the Greenworks 80v snowblower, right?
You got it. We're diving deep into this snow-busting machine today.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to get into the nitty-gritty.
Me too. And I think our listeners are going to love this.
For sure. Who doesn't love a good snowblower deep dive?
Especially when we're talking about a machine that's got a brushless motor, a zero-turn hub, whatever that is,
We'll get to that.
and a battery that supposedly lasts longer than any other.
Big claims. Let's see if they hold up.
Exactly. So what makes this snowblower stand out from the crowd? And why should you care?
Well, first off, picture this. You're clearing a sidewalk.
Okay, got it. Sidewalk covered in snow.
But instead of backbreaking shoveling, you make a few passes with this beast. It's got a 24-inch clearing path.
Whoa, 24 inches. That's like, what, 2 feet?
Yeah, pretty much. And it can handle a snow depth of up to 18 inches.
Okay, now that's impressive. We're talking some serious snow clearing power here.
No doubt. This thing is built for those monster snowstorms.
So it can handle the big stuff, but what makes it so special?
Well, it's a two-stage snowblower.
All right, break that down for me. What does two-stage even mean?
So it's like a 1-2 punch. First, you've got the auger. It scoops up the snow. Then the impeller, this high-speed fan, blasts it away up to 50 feet.
50 feet? You're kidding.
Nope. That's like launching snow across your entire yard.
No more back-breaking shoveling for you.
Exactly. Speaking of power, this snowblower has an intelligent brushless motor.
Okay, intelligent brushless motor. Now that sounds pretty high-tech.
It is, and efficient.
But what does it actually mean?
It means you get twice the torque of regular motors.
So, more power to cut through that heavy, wet snow. Got it. Anything else?
Longer runtime on a single charge.
Okay, more power, longer runtime. I'm liking this already.
And it's eco-friendly.
Oh, tell me more about that.
It runs on battery power, so you can ditch the gas, the fumes, the messy oil changes. It's clean, green, and super quiet.
All right, a win-win for sure. But let's be honest, battling snow can be a chore no matter what. So how does this snowblower make things easier on the user?
Well, imagine this. Instead of wrestling with a heavy machine, you're gliding through the snow. It's got self-propelled power steering.
Wait, are you saying it's like driving a car through the snow?
That's the idea. It makes it so much easier to handle.
Okay, power steering for snow. I like it. But what about maneuverability? You know, getting around those tight spots, those obstacles in the yard?
That's where the zero-turn hub motor wheels come in.
Those are the things you mentioned earlier, right? The ones that let you turn on a dime.
You got it. Think of it like having a super responsive shopping cart. Only it can handle the toughest snowdrifts. No more struggling to turn at the end of your driveway.
That's a relief,
Yeah.
especially when you've got a foot of snow out there.
Exactly. Oh, and before I forget, remember to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this deep dive. Liking the video and sharing it with a friend helps us out a ton. Thanks for the support.
That's right. We appreciate all of you. Now, let's talk about battery life. We all know that can be a major concern with cordless tools.
Totally. But this snowblower is different. It can hold not one, not two, three batteries.
Wait, 3 batteries? Seriously?
Yep, 3 batteries.
So how long can this thing run on a single charge?
Well, with a single battery, you're looking at around 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the conditions.
Okay, that's not bad.
But with 3 batteries, potentially 2 to 3 hours of continuous snow clearing power.
Are you serious? You're saying I could clear my entire driveway, the sidewalk, maybe even help out my neighbors, and still have battery to spare?
That's the goal. And it comes with a dual-port rapid charger, so you can charge 2 batteries at the same time.
So even if you run out of juice, you can swap in a fresh battery and keep going. This is starting to sound like the ultimate snow-busting machine.
It really does check all the boxes. Power, performance, user-friendliness, and let's not forget, eco-friendly.
You've definitely piqued my interest. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll dive into more of the technical details and user-friendly features of this snowblower right after, well, we're not taking a break, are we?
Nope, we're just going to keep going.
That's right. So stick around. We've got a lot more to cover. So we're back, and we're still geeking out over this Greenworks 80v snowblower. It's like the Tesla of snow removal.
I like that analogy. It really is a high-tech piece of equipment.
And it's not just about the power and the batteries, right? There's a lot of thought that's gone into the design and the user experience.
Absolutely. For example, the control panel. It's so intuitive. Everything is right there where you need it, clearly labeled.
So you're not fumbling around in the freezing cold trying to figure out which button does what.
Exactly. Speed control, chute controls, headlight switch, all within easy reach. And remember those zero-turn hub motor wheels we talked about?
Yeah. The ones that give you that amazing maneuverability?
Right. Well, combine those with the self-propelled drive system, and it's like having power steering for snow.
You keep saying power steering for snow, and I gotta say, I love that image. It really does make it sound effortless.
It really is. You don't have to muscle this thing around at all. It practically glides through the snow.
So even if you have a smaller driveway or a lot of obstacles to navigate, this snowblower can handle it.
No problem at all. And don't forget about those LED headlights.
Oh yeah, those are a game changer, especially when it gets dark so early in the winter.
Absolutely. You can see perfectly, even if it's still dark outside.
So we've got power, ease of use, great visibility. But let's go back to that eco-friendly aspect for a minute. Battery-powered tools, are they really a viable alternative to gas-powered models? Especially for something as demanding as a snowblower.
It's a great question, and honestly, in the past, battery-powered tools often lack the power and runtime to compete with gas. But the Greenworks 80v is a perfect example of how things are changing. Batteries are getting more powerful, they're lasting longer, and they're becoming more affordable.
And the 80-volt platform seems to be leading the charge.
Pun intended.
Maybe. But seriously, it really does seem like 80 volts is the sweet spot for power and runtime.
I agree. It's enough to handle even the toughest snow clearing jobs without the noise, fumes, and maintenance of a gas engine.
So it's better for the environment, it's quieter, and you don't have to mess around with gas and oil. Sounds pretty good to me.
And don't forget about the reduced maintenance.
Oh, right. No more oil changes, spark plugs, air filters.
Exactly. That's a huge time saver.
Definitely. But let's be honest, battery-powered tools are typically more expensive up front. So is the Greenworks 80V worth the investment?
That's where you have to consider the long-term costs and benefits. Yes, the initial purchase price might be higher, but you're saving money on gas, oil, and maintenance over the life of the tool.
So it might cost more up front, but you're saving money in the long run.
Plus, you're getting a much quieter and more environmentally friendly option. It's a win-win.
I like win-wins. Now, if you're curious about the mechanics of this snowblower, let's get into how that two-stage system actually works.
Okay, so we have the auger. That spinning spiral blade pulls the snow in.
Right. I've seen those on snowblowers before.
Now, in a single-stage snowblower, the auger does all the work. It pulls the snow in and throws it out. But in a two-stage system, you have an impeller behind the auger.
Ah, okay. Like a dynamic duo.
Exactly. The auger scoops, and then the impeller, which is basically a high-speed fan, blasts the snow out the chute with serious force. That's how you get that incredible throwing distance, up to 50 feet.
So the auger pulls it in, the impeller blasts it out. Got it. But what about those special zero-turn wheels? How do those work?
Ugh, the zero-turn magic. It all comes down to this. Each wheel has its own independent motor.
Wait, each wheel has its own motor.
Yep. And this allows you to control the speed and direction of each wheel individually, so you can literally spin the snowblower in place without moving forward or backward.
Whoa. So you can turn it 360 degrees right in the middle of your driveway.
You got it. Incredibly helpful for maneuvering in tight spaces, getting around obstacles, and making those precise turns. No more three-point turns in your driveway.
I'm starting to see why this snowblower is getting so much attention. It's not just powerful, it's incredibly agile and easy to control.
It really is the whole package. And when you add in the eco-friendly aspect, the long run time, and the reduced maintenance, it's hard to beat.
You've definitely given us a lot to think about. But before we wrap things up, I want to make sure our listeners know where they can learn more about this snowblower and maybe even snag one for themselves.
We'll have a link in the description below where you can find all the details and check out the latest deals.
Perfect. Now, before we move on, I have one final question for you. We've talked a lot about the specs and features, but what's the one thing that really stands out to you about this snowblower? What makes it truly special?
That's a great question. You know, for me, it's the seamless blend of power, performance, and eco-friendliness. It really shows how far battery-powered technology has come. You can have it all: power, convenience, and sustainability.
Well said. And on that note, we're going to keep exploring this Greenworks 80V snowblower. Stick around, we've got more to discuss. All right, so we've talked about power, performance, eco-friendliness, but there's one thing we haven't touched on yet.
What's that?
Maintenance. I mean, this thing is packed with technology. Surely there's got to be a lot involved in keeping it running smoothly.
Actually, that's one of the best parts about going electric. The maintenance on this Greenworks snowblower is super simple, way easier than a gas-powered model.
Really? So no more oil changes, no spark plugs?
Nope, no oil, no spark plugs, no air filters to mess with.
That's amazing. So what, I just need to, like, wipe it down after using it?
Pretty much. Just keep it clean, make sure there's no debris stuck in the auger or impeller. Of course, always check your owner's manual, but yeah, it's really low maintenance.
Music to my ears. Less time tinkering, more time relaxing by the fire, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we know it can handle those big snowstorms, but what about those lighter dustings? Is it still worth using for smaller jobs?
Oh, absolutely. This snowblower is super versatile. You can adjust the auger height to handle different snow depths, from a light dusting to a full-on blizzard, and those zero-turn wheels make it so easy to maneuver around tight spaces, perfect for walkways, patios, decks, you name it.
So it's not just a heavy-duty machine, it can handle the everyday stuff too.
Exactly. And let's not forget, you're doing it all without any gas fumes or emissions. Even for those smaller jobs, you're being kind to the environment.
Love that. So one last question. Batteries. It's always a concern, right?
Yeah.
How long can I expect these batteries to last before I need to replace them?
Yeah, that's a valid concern, but these are lithium-ion batteries. They're pretty durable. You can usually expect them to last for several hundred charge cycles.
So a few years of solid use.
Most likely, yeah. And Greenworks does sell replacement batteries, so you can extend the life of your snowblower even further.
Good to know. So it sounds like we've covered it all. Power, ease of use, eco-friendliness, and it's built to last. I think it's safe to say this Greenworks 80v snowblower is a total game changer.
Couldn't agree more. It's really impressive.
All right, well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the Greenworks 80v snowblower. Thanks so much for joining us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We hope you found this deep dive informative and maybe even a little bit inspiring. Don't forget to check out the link in the description below to learn more about the Greenworks 80v snowblower. And hey, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you enjoyed the show. It really helps us out. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.